Hi, I'm Elvin. I'm at the Blackspoint Historic Reserve here this morning to meet with Les Stuart. Les has got an association with this park here to demonstrate his engines and things. Blackspoint is about 3 kilometres up the river from Reefton, and this is part of the museum complex here at Blackspoint. So come along and meet Les here and we'll understand these big engines. Good morning, Les. And you've got an involvement here with the engines here. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
But we had 2 engines that were pretty significant in his sawmilling career in Anger Hill Junction.
Yes.
And we have the big motor in the shed next door to us that used to run the sawmill. And we have a big old winch in the back here that used to pull a bit of timber in the early days. So. And they're quite, quite old. The Davy Paxman that we've got next door, it was imported to New Zealand by a Wellington company. From what I can gather, it was ordered for the New Zealand government, and that was ordered in 1943, with a delivery to New Zealand in 1944. Now, 2 of these motors, there was only 2 that ever come to New Zealand, and they were both specifically made for to generate power, so the government bought them in as power backup units.
Yes.
So I presume if any towns or places that had major power problems, that these generators would be sent there and generate some power for them. It has got a plant number on the side of it.
So you wrote to the Paxman company in England, did you?
We did, and they're a real old company. They've
Yes.
been around for a long, long time. And, they had on record that these 2 motors, there'll be one in New Zealand somewhere else, not sure if it's going or not. But,
Yes.
there was 2 motors sent to New Zealand, and we got a reply from them, and they were quite impressed of the condition of it, and
Yes.
the fact that it's still up and running.
So what age is it now? How many years old is she?
The Davy Paxman, which you'll see is the motor, the mill one, that's was in New Zealand in 44. So
Yes.
what's that make it, about 76 years old?
Yes.
And still in good conditioning and still running well.
So she ran day in day out at the mill there for a while, did it, until you upgraded?
Every day, yeah. When Dad first got the mill motor, it was actually in Murchison, and it was on loan to the Murchison Hospital up there as a backup power generator for Murchison.
Yes.
Now, I'm not sure how long it sat in Murch, but one of the locals up there knew that Dad was looking for a bigger motor for the sawmill, and said that this one was available and the government wanted to sell it, so that's how he purchased it from Murch.
And your dad thinks she was a reliable old donkey?
Oh gosh, yeah, the old Davy Paxman, they go forever. And, he got that motor from Murchison in the early 70s,
Yes.
And that run the sawmill until the early 80s. For probably about 10 years.
Yes.
And in that 10 years I can only ever remember once where it actually broke down, and we had a week of doing something else while this one got fixed, but very reliable, just plugged away, and in about 81, 82 we went fully electric, so she got made redundant for a wee while, but then we set up another unit outside the mill to cut bigger logs that couldn't go in the mill, so it, just so reliable. So
good.
The old man, he donated a lot of it. Well, he donated all the materials for these buildings here, and along with himself and some of the Blackspoint Museum volunteers, they built this shed and lean-to, so we could put the motors in there and just keep them in good condition. So they've been there ever since. And
so what's your maintenance program for them?
we come up probably 3 or 4 times a year and just check them over and give them a run.
Yes.
A run for a quarter of an hour or something like that.
You don't need to change the oils and things like that. No. Just keep that there is oil there, and
just basically give them a run. And,
yes.
Just keep them ticking over. They both still start really good. So.
But
I was quite impressed with the Davy Paxman. People said that it's, for its age, it's in really, really good nick.
Yes.
Use me go kart.
So Phil and Les are going to give us a demonstration on how to start this old girl. You've got a bit of ether there to get her a kick in the
We have. She likes a bit of ether too, just a wee bit.
Yeah. She needs that to get her going.
Yep. And lots of currents down here. She's got to have all that.
Right, cold cranking amps plus plus plus.
Yep.
36 volts.
And she'll need every bit of it.
These big pulleys.
Yep, they are, Alvin. And when the motor come from England, I think it finished at here, and it would have been plugged into a power generator of some way. It's got a big clutch on here that would put it in and out of gear all the time. But
Yeah.
the old man, he must have adapted this piece here to run the sawmill. So round here was just a great big belt going to the saws, and when we get it going, you just put that in gear and it drives everything. So.
So Phil's got the instructions here on the process of starting the old girl. Will you run through that a bit, Phil?
We've got to hook up the 3 12-volt batteries, fill the radiator up with water, turn the diesel on, check the oil, which we've done, and the rest is just hook up and try and start her up.
Yeah. There you go.
This is the throttle, and we've wound it up a bit so it gives a bit more fuel to get going.
Right. That's the little start button and she should be right.
This here is a plaque on the motor, and I scratched it all down and sent a photo of that through to the Paxman people in England, and they knew exactly what the motor had been made for and when it was ordered. It was ordered by Wellington. They had all that on record.
Lovely.
Within days it was back, and they knew exactly what it was.
Give her a minute. What?
Yep. Straight away there. And also on this lean-to behind me, there's a winch. Now it's pretty hard to find out you know, any information on the winch. They were built and put in the bush, and that was the end of them. But this one the old man picked up in Greymouth, and I believe this one was built in the late 40s or early 50s. So, you know, it's 70 years old, and he took it out to Anangahua Junction, and I can remember as a young fella, probably 10 or 11, that you know, going up the bush and watching him pull some logs with this old girl. And the trees that they pulled with this stuff didn't go to Dad's mill, went to his father's mill. He had a mill at Oweka, and along with Dad and Bruce, which is Dad's brother, and Rusty, they all run that mill at Oweka, and the timber that was pulled from this winch went to round to that mill there.
Right. Where's Oweka? I'm a bit ignorant for that.
Oweka's about 5k this side of Anangahua Junction.
Oh yes, yeah. By Charlie Merkett's farm.
No, it's used to be 2 sawmills here. Jack Brothers sawmill.
Oh, that's
right
what I was thinking.
On the side of the road there.
Gotcha.
And then, my father was, you know, back in that road a wee bit further. So
yes.
After the earthquake, it got sort of made redundant for a wee while, because Dad was focusing on building the sawmill, and so it got sent to Nelson. There was a Nelson company come and hired it for a few years, and it went up to Nelson and pulled radiata pine up there for a number of years, and then once they'd finished with it, it came back to Anangahua. And the thing about the old winch here surprised me. You know, I can remember it sat out in the weather for 15 or 20 years, just sat down in the scrap heap, not the scrap heap, but down in an area.
Yeah.
He used to go down there and then put a battery on it and just turn it over, but it would never ever go. And one day I was watching him, and they hooked the loader onto it, pulled it up next to the sawmill while we were working, and him and an old local mechanic, old Jimmy Douglas.
Yes.
Out they come, and within 2 hours they had this motor ticking over. It was just as though it had been started the day before.
Yes.
So.
They both knew how to make a go.
Yeah, exactly, and you know, just really reliable. So
big, strong, sturdy machinery, but quite a health and safety risk nowadays.
Oh yeah, they wouldn't be allowed in the bush today.
No.
But I mean, you could, you know, everything works on it. You know, you could put it in the bush, hook it up, and it would still go today. And the same as the Paxman, the mill motor, you could hook that up to something, and you know, it would drive it today. So.
Oh, will you show me a start-up process? It'd be lovely. You've had to crank the batteries, haven't you?
We've got 3 batteries that we need to have fully charged for the big Paxman, because she needs such a big motor and she needs it. So we always start her first, because she drags most of the currents out. But and like us all, she needs a wee squirt of ether just to get it going, because she hadn't been going for probably 6 months now. So
so it's timely.
We'll go through and we'll start them up, and you know, just remember the age of them. One's 76 and the other one's 70 years old, and they're still ticking along. Good, great to see, isn't it?
It is. Let's have a go at that.
I'm going to put a wee bit of water in the winch, because in the winter time we drain the water out of both of them so it doesn't freeze.
Yes, let it go and be safe.
Yeah, let it out.
Okay. So you're going to top up the winch now?
Just going to top up the winch and
give her
the batteries up and make a bit more noise with that old girl.
Right.
So here we are beside the old winch. As we said before, just put a bit of water in it. We drain the water out every time we start it, just so it doesn't freeze, because if it froze it would bugger the motor. So this here just in front of us is the operating area that the winch would have stood. Just with all the levers and controls, he would have been standing in this area. And
they have a big roof over them, don't they? They build a big shelter?
Sometimes they do, sometimes they didn't. It depends how long they were going to be.
But
it would have been a real temporary one, just a few poles and some iron on top.
Yes. This is modern technology here. Could you tell me what you think this is?
Well, it would be a bit of a guess, but all these are brakes for the turning drums. So when the logs are coming in all the time, they can stop them if they want to, and just release the pressure off it. and the levers would be here to engage the drums while they're pulling. So,
Yes.
you know, they'd have lots of wire ropes around them.
And what distance can they pull into the scrub?
When I was about 10 when I remember it, but they would have been about 500-600 metres into the
Yes.
bush probably.
Yes. Yeah.
Possibly they go a bit further. It all depends how much rope I got.
Yeah. Bigger rope, closer.
Longer rope.
Yeah. Hillier country, different ropes and things like that. Okay.
Just hanging on. All these are the rope drums where the ropes all wound around.
Yes.
Just go out to the bush, and just in there was a big pulley that would have been on the, you know, way up in the spar pole.
Yes.
And the ropes would have gone through that
Yes.
to keep it up in the air. So.
Yeah. So the spar pole's a big deal. That's a tree that you've selected as the primary pulling to thing.
That's the one. Where
They're way braced in all angles, aren't they? So
yeah, lots of braces, and, and that would have been away up in the tree, and the ropes would have gone up into that, and then down
Yes.
to where the logs were being pulled from. So.
Yeah. And this here also loaded the logging trucks as well?
No, too big and too slow for that.
Yeah.
Just straight out pull logs.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
This old girl behind us here, it's also come from the sawmill, and it's not automatic, but it's a saw sharpener,
Oh, yeah.
circular saws.
Yes.
And you can put the saw in there and it would sharpen it by itself.
Right. These are the grinding tips here.
No, the grinding wheel was in here. There's
Yeah.
the grinding wheel underneath here,
Yeah.
and you would.
So this is a saw doctor's job.
This is a saw doctor's. This was my brother Bill. He used to use this one, but it's pretty old. We've never used it for years.
Yeah.
Quite an old machine too.
Yes. But you get to know her and you get to know its intricacies to get the final outcome.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Because does a blade last a couple of days or half a day?
Half a day.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah. Change them at lunchtime.
Yeah, half a day. Unless they hit a stone. If you hit a stone, that was it. They were blunt. You'd take them out again. Half a day normally.
Yes.
And
And that's for efficiency and clean cut and good finished product, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. If it hits a stone, any saw hits a stone, it just takes the edge off it.
Yeah. And your finished product shows zook 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 on it, you know.
It's just hard going on everything. Hard on the big motor.
Yeah.
Because the saws are blunt and.
Les, this is an interesting thing. What do you think that is?
Well, I believe it's an old tar pot.
Tar pot, Les. Yeah.
Tar pot,
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know any history on it, but
No?
be way before the district council, I would say.
Yeah. So they done the bitumen of the roads and things with it.
I think
She's beautiful.
How old this old machine is.
Yeah. Well, it's too good to throw away, isn't it? That's
I don't know. It's the museum.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure how long it's been here. But
Yes. Look, you can have a fire in the bottom of here to keep the tar hot.
yeah, you can.
She's magic. And a chimney too. Look at this. This laying down to be in the shed. And I think it's a Ruston Hornsby engine on the end here. Is it this one here? Wow, to circulate the water. That's a bit of magic, isn't it?
I might be totally wrong, but I did hear once it was an old tar pot. So there you go.
So she's from Maidstone in England. That's just south of London, down towards in Kent somewhere. Yeah. I think that was about when Robin Hood was there too, wasn't it? So here we are, the old Clee track. You're altering that exhaust for some reason?
Yeah, we are. We just, you know, when we don't use the motor for so long, we actually turn it downwards so it won't fill up with rainwater.
Oh yes, it protect the engine.
Rainwater will get into the engine and bug it. So
Yeah.
Bleeding getting the diesel up to the pump.
Yes.
Get the air out of it.
So this one sat at the mill for quite some time too, did it, out there? Yeah.
Quite a few years.
Yeah. And your dad was a real enthusiast for it.
He was.
Yeah.
He liked bulldozers.
Yes, yeah.
He had a few bulldozers.
Yeah. What size?
Ellis Chalmers, HD5.
Oh yes, yeah. Yeah. And did he have some land that he cleared with him too, or was it mainly around milling?
Just logging.
Yeah.
He did clear. He went down to Rahui and cleared a forest, and they planted pine trees on it.
Yes.
And now they can't get them.
Yeah. Can't get into them.
No,
Good.
because the railway took the siding out. And
Yes. Oh shit.
it's across the other side of the Buller River.
Okay.
This is the accelerator element. Just about give her a wee squirt.
Okay. This is the go button.
This is the go button.
Yeah.
And this is the go. Very good. So we'll put a wee bit of ether into there, and she should fire up.
Beautiful. What's these bloody big parts on here?
Well, I think these here, Elvin, are the filters for the big motors. So
Oh yeah,
the fuel filters.
Yeah.
The fuel that go through them.
And this is the filler here for
That's just an oil filler.
oil filter in there here, and the big generator here.
That's a starter motor.
Starter motor,
That's the
right?
starter
Gotcha.
motor there, yep.
And this one,
That's a water pump.
water pump back in here into the radiator. So she's settled down now, Les, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Running much better.
Yeah, when they both haven't been started up for 6 months, they tend to smoke a wee bit, and when you give them some ether, that makes them smoke too. So,
Yes, yeah.
just till they burn that out and get up and running. And
What an asset. Thanks very much for showing me around it.
it's been a pleasure. It's
Yeah.
got a good history for the machines. And
It is. Better than them going off back to Chinaman to make razor blades again, isn't it?
and we're teaching our 2 son-in-laws how to start it. So
Yes.
once Phil and I are gone,
They know how to
they'll
do it.
keep them up and running. So
Lovely. Good work.
good to see them running, eh?
It is fabulous.